You don't truly know someone until their nervous system is under fire. Think about it. We spend our lives curating masks, polite smiles, carefully chosen words, the version of ourselves we want the world to see. But there's a force that strips all of that away in seconds, a biological truth serum that exposes who we really are beneath the performance. Picture this: a lion charges across the savannah. A surgeon's patient crashes on the operating table. A parent sees their child step into traffic. In these moments, something extraordinary happens. The same ancient hormones that kept our ancestors alive now reveal our deepest truths, our courage, our cowardice, our capacity for love or cruelty. Here's the paradox that neuroscience has uncovered. Stress doesn't change us, it reveals us. Why does pressure make some people rise as heroes while others crumble? Why do crises expose the fragile foundation beneath some relationships while forging others into unbreakable bonds? And what does your brain under stress say about who you truly are? Today we dive into the neuroscience that explains everything. The evidence is stunning, the implications are profound, and the truth might make you uncomfortable. Prepare yourselves. We begin. In 1915, a physiologist named Walter Cannon was studying cats when he discovered something extraordinary. When threatened, their bodies underwent a coordinated transformation. Pupils dilated, hearts raced, muscles primed for action. He called it the fight or flight response, and it would become one of the most important discoveries in biology. But Cannon couldn't have known what this would eventually reveal about human nature itself. Here's how it works. When your brain perceives a threat, your sympathetic nervous system activates like flipping a master switch. Your adrenal glands flood your bloodstream with adrenaline and cortisol. Blood rushes from your digestive system to your muscles. Your heart pounds, your senses sharpen. This is your body's emergency broadcast system, evolved over millions of years to keep you alive. But here's what makes it fascinating. It also acts like a psychological truth serum. Under stress, the carefully constructed walls we've built around our personality begin to crumble. The patient coworker snaps. The charming date reveals a controlling streak. The confident leader freezes. Why? Because stress doesn't have time for pretense. When your amygdala screams danger, your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for social performance and self-control, gets suppressed. What emerges is something more fundamental, something real. This raises a question that neuroscience is only beginning to answer. Why do some people become heroes under pressure while others collapse? Why does the same biological cascade produce such different results? For decades, we assumed it was random, bad luck, bad timing, overwhelming circumstances. But the evidence forces us to confront an uncomfortable possibility. Stress doesn't change us, it exposes us. Scientists discovered something remarkable when they started putting people in MRI machines and inducing stress. They could actually watch in real time as stress revealed the truth about someone's underlying neural architecture. First, the amygdala. In 2009, researchers at Harvard found that amygdala activation under stress isn't random. It reveals your baseline emotional reactivity. Some people's amygdalas light up like a city grid during a blackout. Others barely flicker. This isn't about the intensity of the stressor. It's about who you are underneath. Second, prefrontal cortex suppression. Amy Arnston at Yale showed that stress hormones systematically shut down your brain's executive control center. But here's the key. How much it shuts down predicts your true impulse control. The person who seems measured in everyday life but becomes reckless under pressure, their prefrontal cortex was always holding back something volatile. Third, heart rate variability. This is one of the most predictive measures we have. Your HRV, the variation in time between heartbeats, drops under stress like a phone battery in freezing weather. But the pattern of how it drops reveals your resilience. High HRV under pressure correlates with psychological flexibility, emotional regulation, and long-term success. Low HRV, fragility, rigidity, breakdown. Fourth, cortisol curves. Bruce McEwen at Rockefeller University spent decades studying stress hormones. He found that your cortisol response pattern, how quickly it spikes, how long it stays elevated, how efficiently it returns to baseline, reveals your long-term coping mechanisms. Some people's stress systems recover like a rubber band snapping back. Others stay dysregulated for hours, even days. Fifth, mirror neurons. These neurons fire both when you act and when you observe others acting. Under stress, researchers found that mirror neuron activity reveals true empathy. Some people's mirror systems activate more intensely under shared stress. They're wired for connection. Others show reduced activity. Self-preservation dominates. We think stress makes us act out of character. Neuroscience says the opposite. Stress reveals character by overwhelming the mechanisms that usually hide it. But this represents just one piece of a much larger biological puzzle.
The deeper you look into the neuroscience, the more counterintuitive it becomes. Consider this. Stress doesn't amplify random traits, it amplifies dominant traits. Robert Sapolsky at Stanford demonstrated this with primates. The aggressive baboon becomes more aggressive under stress. The nurturing one becomes more protective. Your brain defaults to its strongest patterns when it can't afford to think. Then there's oxytocin, the so-called love hormone. We thought it only promoted bonding. Wrong. Under stress, oxytocin can increase bonding or aggression, depending on your baseline psychology. It intensifies your default social orientation. If you're tribally loyal, stress makes you defend your group more fiercely. If you're suspicious, stress makes you more paranoid. Genetic research adds another layer. Studies of the serotonin transporter gene show that some variants make people more reactive to stress, but also more responsive to support. The same biology that makes you vulnerable can make you resilient, depending on your environment. And trauma? Trauma literally rewires your stress circuits. People with childhood adversity show different neural activation patterns under adult stress. Their amygdalas are hypervigilant. Their prefrontal cortexes struggle to regulate. Stress doesn't just reveal who you are, it reveals who you've been forced to become. But here's what might be the most remarkable discovery. High performers under pressure show unique neural signatures. Fighter pilots, emergency room doctors, elite athletes, their brains don't eliminate the stress response, they channel it. Their prefrontal cortexes stay online longer. Their focus narrows strategically. Their bodies mobilize without panic. The most striking finding comes from studying the prefrontal cortex, the brain's CEO. Under extreme stress, it doesn't just weaken. In some people, specific regions actually increase activity. These are the people who think clearer under pressure, who make better decisions when stakes are highest. Their stress response has been trained to reveal a better version of themselves. The evidence extends beyond biology into the realm of identity itself. So what does all this evidence actually mean? Think of stress as a neural filter. In normal life, your brain runs elaborate simulations: what to say, how to appear, which impulses to suppress. Stress shuts down these simulations. What passes through the filter is what's most fundamental to your neural architecture. Or think of it as a character amplifier. The traits you've reinforced through years of choices, the neural pathways you've strengthened through repeated behavior, these become dominant under pressure. You don't become someone else under stress. You become more purely yourself. Researchers now use stress responses as predictive models of future behavior. How someone handles acute stress predicts relationship outcomes, career success, even mortality.
It's not perfect prediction, but it's revealing. Your brain under fire shows patterns that your brain at rest can hide. And here's the philosophical earthquake. Stress might be evolution's honesty mechanism. In life or death situations, there's no evolutionary advantage to pretense. The person who freezes when they need to run, who abandons others when cooperation is needed, these responses got selected against. What survived is authenticity under pressure. Not always noble authenticity, sometimes cruel, selfish, cowardly authenticity, but real. This forces us to reconsider fundamental assumptions about personality, morality, and self-control. Are we who we choose to be, or are we who our nervous systems reveal us to be when choice becomes impossible? The implications are already changing how we evaluate human potential. Military special forces, astronaut programs, emergency response teams, they're all moving towards stress testing candidates, not stress interviews where someone asks tough questions, actual physiological stress while measuring neural and cardiovascular responses. They want to see who you become when your prefrontal cortex goes offline. Aviation psychology has pioneered this. Pilots undergo simulated emergencies in flight simulators, while researchers monitor everything: brain activity, heart rate variability, eye movements, cortisol levels. The goal isn't to find people who don't feel stress, it's to find people whose true patterns under stress are compatible with crisis management. In leadership research, there's a growing recognition that interview performance and stressed performance are almost completely uncorrelated. Some executives are brilliant strategists in boardrooms but collapse under real pressure. Others seem unremarkable until crisis hits, then they crystallize into clarity. And relationships? Couples therapists are starting to understand that compatibility under stress matters more than compatibility in comfort. How do you both respond when finances crash, when health fails, when children struggle? Some relationships reveal complementary stress patterns. One partner's activation balances the others. Others reveal destructive resonance. Both people's worst patterns amplify each other. But here's where it gets exciting. Recent breakthroughs suggest we can train the brain to reveal a better version of ourselves under pressure. Neurofeedback, deliberate stress inoculation, mindfulness training. These aren't just stress management techniques, they're character development technologies that work by changing what stress exposes. Because the truth is, stress doesn't just expose character, it can forge it.
Now we arrive at the deepest questions, the ones that neuroscience can illuminate but not fully answer. Is our true self who we are under stress, or who we are at rest? The nervous system would argue for stress. That's when pretense is impossible. But consciousness might argue for rest. That's when we have the capacity for choice, reflection, growth. Are we morally responsible for behavior under extreme stress? If your prefrontal cortex is suppressed, if ancient survival circuits take over, can you be blamed for what emerges? The law struggles with this. Neuroscience offers mechanisms, not absolutions. Can we consciously rewrite our stress responses? The evidence says yes, to a degree. You can train new patterns, build new neural pathways, change what stress amplifies. But you can't eliminate your biological foundation. You can't override millions of years of evolution through willpower alone. And perhaps most profound, does stress reveal authenticity or vulnerability? Is the person who crumbles under pressure showing their true weakness or just their human limits? Is the person who remains compassionate under threat showing their true nobility or just their particular neural wiring? The most profound implications emerge when we consider what stress reveals about human nature itself. We're not the rational, consistent agents we pretend to be. We're biological organisms with deep patterns that surface when the mask falls away. And maybe that's not weakness, maybe that's honest. We began with a question: why does stress strip away the mask and reveal who we really are?
The answer isn't simple, but it's clear, because your nervous system can't afford lies when survival is at stake. The neural mechanisms that allow you to be polite, patient, or politically correct require energy and processing power that stress diverts elsewhere. What remains is biology, the foundation that everything else is built on. Stress is not your enemy, it's a mirror. Sometimes it shows you courage you didn't know you had. Sometimes it shows you flaws you've been hiding from. Always, it shows you something real. The neuroscience reveals this: you are not one person. You're a collection of neural patterns competing for dominance. In calm moments, your executive functions referee the competition. Under stress, the strongest patterns win. But here's what remains unknown, what keeps researchers awake at night. We still don't fully understand why identical stress produces such different revelations. Two people with similar backgrounds, similar genetics, similar lives, one becomes a hero, one becomes a victim. The mechanisms are clearer, the mystery remains. What we do know is this: you cannot predict who you truly are until you see yourself under pressure. And once you see it, you cannot unsee it. So the question isn't whether stress will reveal you. It will. The question is, what will it reveal? Stress is not the enemy. It is the X-ray that shows us who we are and who we can become.